we go. Hi, Paul Sackis, Good News Broadcast, speaking to David Bach. Hi, David. How are you?
I'm fabulous. Great to be on your show. Thank you.
Good to get a moment here to speak with you. David Bach has helped millions of people around the world take action to live and finish rich. Rich, R-I-C-H. Rich is good. Fight for your money. You have another author of 6 New York Times best-selling books. Learn the secrets a big business doesn't want you to know. All right. How to stop getting ripped off and save a fortune. Okay, a lot of good news here. Tell us about it.
Well, thank you. This is really, a great time, actually, to be getting a better deal on everything, and it's really, quite frankly, a good time to be investing. This is my 10th book. Fight for Your Money came out in March. It was an instant New York Times bestseller, and it's different than any of my other books. A lot of your listeners have probably read maybe The Automatic Millionaire or Smart Women Finish Rich or Start Late Finish Rich. This book I took a look at really every single industry. It's an A to Z guide. We looked at everything from the car industry to the banking industry, credit cards, insurance, travel, life insurance, homeowner insurance, health insurance, divorce, you name it. Anything that you're spending money on, we took a look at how you can get a better deal, how you can turn the table on the investment company, on the companies that are out there. And so the real thing I want your listeners to know is this. A recession is a terrible thing to waste. This is one of the best times to build wealth, probably in the last 20 years. And you have to use this recession to renegotiate and get a better price on everything you pay for. And if you do that, you can cut your expenses really quickly, I think in less than a couple hours, by 10 to 20%, putting thousands back in your pocket.
Okay, here, give us some hints here.
Well, let me start off with probably some 5 simple expenses you're paying for. Cable, cell phones, internet service, subscription fees, gym memberships, insurance. I gave you more now. I'm going to insurance. Everything right now you can lower your price probably by 20% simply by calling the company up and telling them you want to cancel your service. And when I say cancel your service, I want you to tell these companies, look, let's use cable as an example. I was paying $140 a month for cable. When I canceled my cable service and switched cable providers, I switched over to a new service that was $90 a month. My old cable provider came back and offered me $30 a month. So the same company that was charging me $140, once I left, offered me a $29.95 package. And that's a savings of $1,200 a year. And that took 3 minutes to make some phone calls. Mm-hmm. So you can do that right now on your cell phone bill, your cable bill, and I show you in Fight for Your Money how to do this. You can save money on everything. Your insurance, your car insurance, your life insurance, your homeowner insurance. Everything is less expensive for new customers. Not for old customers, for new customers. So you have to know how to go in and renegotiate. I'll give you a couple things that people can do. First of all, go to our website, FinishRich.com. Also go to DavidBach on Facebook.com because we're posting a bunch of tips on there on how you can go and get a better deal. And in addition to just renegotiating, one of my big mantras this year, if you will, or my big crusade, is to get Americans out of credit card debt. And I did a whole series of shows with Oprah called the Debt Diet series, and I'm still on this campaign to get Americans to use cash. During this recession, you want to be using cash, not credit. Credit cards are charging 20, 25, 30% interest. So this summer, I am on a campaign with Kmart, getting Americans to consider the concept and use what's called layaway. Layaway programs have been around since the Great Depression, and they're coming back in style again because Americans are getting smart and they're starting to budget to pay for things. So as an example, this summer, everything that you could possibly need to buy this summer, all your camping equipment, your home patio furniture, your new lawnmower to cut the lawn, the pool stuff for the kids, it's all on sale right now. And it's on sale at prices we've never seen so low. I mean, in many cases at Kmart right now, things are on sale 20, 30, 40, 50% for summer. And when you combine that with their layaway program, you can actually go to Kmart, you put 10% down, put the stuff on hold, pay for it over 8 weeks, and really by the 4th of July, you'll have all your summer stuff, and you will have paid for it with cash instead of using credit. So it's a great way to fight for your money.
Do you have to pay interest?
No, because that's the whole idea. You're paying cash. So there's a small little fee to set up the layaway program. And all the details, by the way, are on Kmart. You can go to Kmart.com/layaway. Super simple program. Kmart actually has the most popular layaway program in America. And most people, when they think of layaway, if they ever think of it, they think of it during the holiday season. But they need to know it's out there year-round. So really going back to the idea of the Depression, when my grandmother was from the Depression, she always used to say, David, if you don't have the cash, you can't afford to buy it. And people used to always use layaway. One of the first things I ever bought as a kid was a boom box. And Grandma Bach said, you don't have the money. I said, come on, Grandma, let me borrow the money. She's like, nope, I'm not loaning it to you, but we'll go down to the store and we'll put some money down and we'll do it on layaway, and you'll pay for it with your allowance over time, and then when you're done paying for it, we'll go down and we'll pick it up and take it home. And, she taught me a really good lesson at a really young age, and that lesson still applies really to everyone in America. If you don't have the cash, don't buy it. Budget for it.
Okay, do your homework. So you have your book, you have your website. There's no such thing as a free lunch. I see some things here that are in your book. Don't rent a car at an airport. Go to rent a car. Just take a cab or something close by and go to outside the location.
Yeah, well, here's an interesting thing. Here's, again, good news about summer and the recession. Everything's cheaper right now. Travel, this is a great time, actually, to travel. There are deals galore on travel right now. But the key is to know how to get them. So when we did the research on travel, specifically rental cars, we found out that rental cars agencies at the airport, because they're paying taxes to be at the airport, those rental cars can be an average of 20% more to rent a car from a major renter at the airport, whereas that same agent may have those cars, 5 miles further, or in some cases just 2 miles further, same agency, and you can get the car less expensive. Well, now that people can shop online and figure this out, the companies at the airports are also having to offer better deals. So the thing to do is to go online, call these car companies directly, and then go online and try to find the best price. You can sometimes get the car at the airport, but by just telling them the car is cheaper down the street. But if it's not, go down the street. They'll pick you up in many cases in a shuttle, and you'll save money by doing that.
Okay, here's your fundamental rules. There is no such thing as a free lunch. Figure out the total cost. Look for retail layaway, which we talked about here at Kmart. Don't take anybody's word for anything. Do your homework. Be careful what you sign. Resist efforts to pressure or intimidate you. If you think you've been scammed, report it to the appropriate authorities. There is no such thing as a set price. Package deals are often not good deals. Why is that? Why are package deals not always a good deal?
Because often what they do, when travel is another good example of this. Okay, a lot of times you'll see package deals for the hotel, the airfare, the car service to and from the airport, the rental car. They package it all together. It looks like it's a better price, and they show you, you're going to save 30%. But again, today, because everything's got better pricing, if you really shop online, if you call the hotel directly after you've found the best price online, if you spend an extra 30 minutes doing this, you can often get a better price than the package deal. And I'm somebody who travels all the time, and I like to travel first class, but I don't like to pay first class prices. So, as an example, I don't usually bundle my plane tickets with my hotel, and I buy coach tickets. Here's a big tip for you. Coach ticket, if you buy tickets packaged together for your family, you go online and you buy 4 tickets at once. The computer system is set up to actually raise the price of that ticket. If you buy those tickets separately, 4 tickets separately, independently, and you can do it all like in 5 minutes, those prices will often be less. So I went to L.A., and when I priced 4 tickets, for example, it was like $600. When I broke them up separately, I got these tickets down to $298.
Whoa.
That's a huge, it's a 50% savings just by the way I was buying my tickets. Now, here's the thing. I really wanted to travel business class. I hate traveling coach to Los Angeles from New York. I just do. It's not very comfortable. But the business ticket was $1,350, which I just refused to pay. When I got to the airport, I was able to upgrade a $298 ticket for an additional $150 and end up in business class. So I ended up with a business class ticket for $450 that had been priced the day before for $1,350 online.
This is a good man. He's got it all together. What inspired you to proceed with this kind of an approach to your career professionally?
It's such a good question. I all the way back when I was a little kid, my dad was a financial advisor and taught investment classes, and I started going to my dad's classes around the age of, 7, 8, or 9, and watching my dad teach people in his community how to be smarter with their money, and he would teach firemen and policemen and garbage men and teachers, and I watched him change all these people's lives, and I thought, boy, that would be a really fun thing to do someday. And I got in business in 1994. Started teaching classes right with my father, and then started my own class called Smart Women Finish Rich. And I have been doing it ever since. It's just gotten to be a much larger scale. I used to teach classes with 10 people, and now I'll do seminars with like Donald Trump and Tony Robbins, and we'll have 10,000 people in the room, and I'll go on shows like Oprah or the Today Show or CNN and reach millions in 5 minutes. But it's the same message, and it's a lot of what I heard my father teach people 20 years ago. So I've been doing this kind of my whole life, and somebody kidded me the other day. They're like, well, you know, Richard Petty's son got in the race car driving business. I guess you're sort of the same thing. You grew up around it with your father, and now you're doing the same thing. So, you know, I've got a little boy who's 5.5, and he's learning how to save money, and I've got him, you know, learning all the lessons that I was taught at a young age, and he gets an allowance, and he has to save half of it, and, you know, it starts by teaching your kids, and I was fortunate to have parents that taught me about money at a young age.
Last thought, what's good news for David Bach?
You know, I think the good news right now is that I'm having so much fun in this recession. I think there's silver lining in all of this. And, you know, my son, Jack, is 5.5, and, you know, he is probably the biggest, he is the biggest joy of my life. But when people talk about the future and where things are going with this country, and I think this country's going in the right direction, and I hope to be around for a long time to watch him grow up in an even greater country than we have today. And I love what I do. I love teaching people about money, and you know, now that I have a young son, all these lessons that I grew up learning, I love passing them on to him, and I love passing it on to parents so they can teach their kids.
Sounds wonderful. David, thank you very much for sharing a lot of good news.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.